I am coming to you from the floor because in the process of returning to my apartment from my mom's house where I spent most of the sort of tight quarantine, I left my tripod. So we're making do with something real fancy, aka a stack of books and my laptop, and it's fine. It's all good. I just wanted to kind of come back and share with you guys a little bit about what I've been reading. I did not do an 18th century April wrap-up for reasons that I will explain later, and I'll just share what I'm reading right now, planning to finish, planning to start, etc. things. So in 18th century April news, I finished reading Robinson Crusoe. This was kind of like, if I was going to only finish one book, I wanted it to be this one because I've been meaning to read it for a really long time. Stop biting my feet. There's a kitten. I wanted it to be this one, and I did manage to get this finished. I did not read anything else. This was enough on its own, and that's okay. That's part of the reason I made 18th century April so kind of low-key. I did not meet any of my extra challenges, and that's fine. And I made it through April and the end of the semester, and I'm looking forward to getting to the other books on my 18th century April list later this summer, or maybe later this year. We'll see. I'm not going to review Robinson Crusoe in this video. I'm going to just do its own just review and discussion video because I was going to do that anyway, and so now that it's its only video, we can just have an 18th century April wrap-up. It will come, you know, eventually when I have a tripod. This one, stop. Excuse you, sir. Smile for the camera. Oh, he's being very much a pest at the moment. Ow! As usual, I'm in the middle of 7,000 books, and honestly, this is not a good habit. I have to do it when I'm in school because I'm reading several things for various places, and then like stuff for fun too. But when I'm not in school, I really need to focus more narrowly on less than 7 million books. So I've tried to restrict myself to only a couple. I have kind of genres here, and my plan is as I finish one book of the genre, then I can start another book in that genre, and hopefully that will kind of give me enough diversity so that, you know, if I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like reading nonfiction right now, I have something else to read, and I'm not just like starting random books, but also I'm not like starting 17 books and then not finishing any of them. So that's the plan at the moment. So speaking of nonfiction, right now I am still working my way through Hollands Dominion. I started this a while ago and didn't get very far into it, so you might have seen me post about it on Instagram, but I am finally making progress. I'm hoping to be finished with it soon, probably not by the end of this week, but you know, whenever I get it done. Another thing I'm trying to do is not worry about time frames and just enjoy the book. And when I want to read it, I read it, and when I don't, I don't, and when I finish, I finish. That's how things are gonna go. But I am less than 200 pages from the end and very much enjoying it. This is about the making of the Western mind, and Holland's thesis is that Christianity is really responsible for all of the things that we consider secular ideals are actually Christian ideals, and it's very hard to make a video when there is a kitten following you. Yeah, so secular ideals are really actually Christian ideals, just without the Christian involved, and he's tracing the progress of like how those ideals developed and how they're linked to the kind of Christian worldview. It's very interesting, and I'll probably do some kind of review at the end once I've like read his whole thesis. So that's one category, nonfiction, that I'm trying to have one book that I'm in the middle of and not start any others. The next category is classics, and right now I'm reading the Mabinogion. I started this kind of towards the end of school when I finished Robinson Crusoe because I just wanted something that I could read kind of easily at night. It's a collection of Welsh folk and fairy tales. Not really fairy tales, there's no fairies so far. And since it's a collection of short stories, I thought it would be easy to kind of follow. I wouldn't have to like keep up with the whole plot. I'm enjoying them very much so far. They're very weird. But that's what I'm here for. Sorry, distracted by the cat again. And then the other thing I am sort of working on. I've been reading this for a while. I'm kind of embarrassed that I haven't finished it yet, but gonna get that, and that is Dune by Herbert. This is technically a reread, but I read this many, many years ago, and I remember pretty much nothing about it except the sandworms. and I feel like maybe I wasn't quite in the right time of my life to be able to follow the nuances of it. I think from the 200 pages or so that I've read so far, I think that's what it was. It's very political, and that wasn't something that I was interested in or good at following when I was young. So this is a story about the Atreides family. Atreides, they get a commission to go and manage a desert planet, and all kinds of things happen. It's very complicated. There are sandworms that are giant and eat people. Again, I will review this. I'll review all of these and let you know what I think about them and the plot and everything later. I did sort of start reading that because of the film that's coming out later this year, which looks quite interesting. And then I'll just share briefly the 3 books that I kind of have lined up to start after I finish each of these books that I'm currently reading. The nonfiction that I will be reading next probably is The Orthodox Church by Timothy Ware, and I say probably because my boyfriend might accidentally steal it. It's an introduction to Eastern Christianity, and I am reading it because I want to know more about the Orthodox Church. I'm pretty familiar just because of growing up in a Christian school and attending the very Catholic University of Dallas. I've gained a pretty good comprehension of the development of the Western Church, but the Eastern Church is just different enough that you can't kind of ditto, and so it's just an area that I am interested in learning more about. So I'm looking forward to this. This is kind of the history and basic theology of the Eastern Church. Classics. For my next classic, I couldn't decide. I have many classics on my TBR. I knew I wanted to read something from the 19th century or maybe the 20th century, since I've been reading so much early stuff, Shakespeare and 18th century, both for class and for fun. What I did first is I made a list of books that I thought I would want to read, and I asked my boyfriend to give me a number between 1 and 10, just sort of apropos of nothing. He didn't know what the list was for, so he gave me a number, and of course, the number he picked was the one number that didn't actually have a book on it. It just said Dickens, because I have like 3 or 4 Dickens novels here, and I have another 3 or 4 Dickens novels that I haven't read, and I wasn't really sure which one I wanted to read. So I went to Instagram with a list of all of the unread Dickens novels, and I asked all my followers over there to vote, and that was really fun. I enjoyed watching the results tally in, and the winner by just 1 vote, notice how close things were, was Charles Dickens's A Tale of Two Cities, and so I will be reading that when I finish the Mabinogion, and I am quite looking forward to it. I think I'm in the right mood for this. So I was hoping to start that by the end of May, I was hoping to finish it by the end of May, but again, I'm not gonna put any time pressure on myself. Nobody cares. And when I finish Dune, or maybe before, because I might have broken my own rule and started this last night, The Golem and the Jinni by Helen, Wicker is a story about a golem and a genie who, by a weird twist of fate, find themselves both living alone in New York City in the 1900s. And the story is just about how they come together and they find each other and are different and together and stuff. I don't know. It's beautifully written. It's really fascinating. I'm super enjoying it so far. It's a book that's kind of been on my distant TBR for quite a while, and when I finished school, I decided to reward myself with a new book that I bought with a gift card from Christmas that was left over. Ordered it, and so anyway, I'm excited to get to that finally when I finish Dune, or maybe before I finish Dune. Either way, it's fine. I make my own rules. That is it for this video. I'd love to hear what you guys are reading right now. Also, if you have a way to manage the urge to read 7 million books at once, please let me know. I'm struggling. I will be back soon with some more videos that are less catch-uppy and more content-wise driven-y, but again, we're waiting for the tripod, so we'll see when that happens. No promises, but soon, you know, eventually. And thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!